Good morning, beautiful people. Happy Monday. Happy second week of January 2024. I'm going to give you a moment to jump on and so we can get started. I have a very, very special live prepared for you today. We'll be really diving in deep into the topic of self-care and what you can be doing right now. I'm going to give you 3 things that you can do to help you manage self-care. And we're not talking about from a shallow front. We're not talking about from a beauty regimen front. We're going to be talking and diving a lot deeper into some really tangible things you can do to prioritize yourself today. So giving you a moment to get settled in, and welcome. You might be wondering what these glasses are for, but I have a really fun activity that we're going to do that is going to really be eye-opening. Okay, while we do that, okay, so while we go ahead and before we get started, just going to give you some recaps of some super fun things that have been going on. The New Year's Day somatic breathwork event was absolutely incredible. It was just so incredible. All the shares, all the beautiful people that showed up. It's such an honor to witness people face their challenges and then overcome them, and seeing their faces before and then seeing their faces after. It was just so nice to see how peaceful they looked afterwards and how they created space for themselves. So I have an exciting new announcement that I'll be letting you in on towards the end. And I see someone joined, but I can't see your name. Well, welcome, and good morning and happy Monday. So we're going to go ahead and get started. It's a little bit after 9. So the exercise that I have today is a very eye-opening exercise that's going to shed a lot of light on self-care. And this is going to be the topic for today. We're diving deep into self-care, how you can self-care, 3 tangible things that you can do today, right away, as soon as we're done with this call, to start self-caring and prioritizing yourself. And we're not talking about like a beauty regimen. We're talking about tangible things that you can do. And then before we do that, we're going to do a really eye-opening exercise. So you see all these jars in front of me, and you're probably like, are we making jam today? That's not the case. Although I do recycle all my jars, so you probably see some of the labels there. And then we have this water container right here that's full of water. So this right here represents you. I've been wanting to do this for a while, so I'm super excited to be doing this. So this represents you. The water in here represents how much energy you have, okay? And then these empty jars represent all the things that take your energy. This is your work. This is your family. This is your friendships. This is the bills and other obligations. And etc., etc. These are everybody's obligations, everybody's energy expenditure differs from person to person. So this is a representation of that. So this is you again, and this is all the energy that you have. This is what you have. This is the reserve that you have. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put in a little bit into work. We're going to put in to family probably a little more, work a lot more. A lot of us in the US work 8 hours a day, so that takes up a lot. And then we have our bills and our friendships. Here's our friendships. Here's our bills. And then here's like these other things that came up for us that day. And then here's like other people who want your energy. And there's you. Empty. Completely empty. Because You've given your energy to your work, to your family, to your friends, to your bills and obligations, and to all these other things. You're on empty, and you're going through life on empty. How do we fill this back up? Well, we can't recollect our water. Hey, Emma, welcome. We can't recollect our water. And so what we're talking about here, Emma, today is self-care. And please catch the replay because this demonstration is extremely powerful. And this basically represents you. And we're talking about self-care. And at one point, this container was full of water. And then now it's empty because we put in our energy into all these things that demand our energy. Our work, our family lives, our friendships, our obligations, they all have that energy now. And now you're on empty. So how do we fill this cup back up? This is where the concept of self-care comes in. Well, here's an activity you like to do, like maybe a sleep routine you like to do. Maybe you like to cuddle up in bed and read a book before you go to sleep. Okay, maybe you like to skate. I have a friend, she loves skating. There's some skating in there, right? Okay, here's a walk, a daily walk that you do. Okay, and etc., etc. So here's all these other things that you like to do. And now, guess what? Now, your cup is full again. And now you could keep going. You could go back and give some to work, give some to your family, give some to your friends, give some to obligations, and so on and so on. But guess what? Your cup is full because you're constantly refilling this cup. So, we're going to be talking all about self-care. Today, we're going to dive into 3 things that you can do to help you start self-caring and prioritizing yourself. But then I also have an exciting announcement at the end. There's going to be an amazing, I don't want to tell you just yet. First, we're going to dive in. Okay, awesome. So now you understand this concept, and hopefully I made the point. And so what are we going to dive into today? Okay, so the first tip that I have for you when you're wanting to self-care is examining the relationships that you have, okay? So you might notice if you're like a cheery person that certain people cling on to you. And some people have a name for this, energy vampires. I don't like that connotation. But there are people who are attracted to you because of the energy that you're exuding, because they see that your cup is full and they want a resemblance of that. So they cling on to you and they take your energy away. Okay? And so examining your relationships is probably by far the number one most important self-care self-prioritization activity that you can do, because the people in your life are constantly, very much like the exercise I demonstrated, are consistently taking energy from you. And if they are not meeting you where you're at and their energy does not match your energy, there's going to be an uneven balance of energy exchange. And I've had several people in my life, including family, who do not have a similar energy exchange of energy. So think of energy as a currency. And so you're giving energy to someone when they need it, and they're giving you energy back, okay? But what happens if they're taking and taking and taking? You end up with the empty cup again, okay? And so in order to do that, take a look at your friendships. Take a look at your even familial relationships, even work relationships, acquaintances. Where are you expending your energy in these relationships? And is it an even energy currency exchange? If it's not, I invite you to reevaluate those relationships in your life because, well, they're just not on an even plane with you, and they're not going to ultimately serve you in filling your cup. Now, the second tip that I have for you today in terms of self-care is setting boundaries. Boundaries are really huge. This goes back to these relationships. So maybe you'll say, well, Michelle, I took a look at my relationships and I do have people who take a little more energy from me than I do receive from them. So it's not an even energy exchange, but this is a family member and I need to keep them in my life. I can't just cut this person out of my life. Well, fine. We all have that in our lives and we all have people like that. And I've been there before, so I totally get it. So how do you handle that? You handle that by setting boundaries for yourself. So if you're hanging out with this person and let's say it's a family member, and every time you're around them, there's this uneven exchange of energy currency, then perhaps you need to be setting boundaries on how you are giving them your energy and when you're there for them. I've had a client before tell me, well, so-and-so calls me and always asks me for help and always asks me for advice. Well, wonderful. Okay. And so every time you drop everything you're doing and you answer this person's call, what about all the stuff that you're dealing with that's taking your energy? Do you have enough energy left to be giving this person energy? Set some boundaries. If this person, you don't have the energy to be able to deal and resolve their problem and they're calling you for every single thing, you need to set some boundaries with that person. You can be really polite about it. People are understanding. They're way more understanding than you think. And if you've felt like you have to people please in any way, I totally understand that. I've been there too. People are not going to rule you out just because you're standing up and you're prioritizing yourself. And if they are, that's a person you really don't want in your close circle anyway, because that's going to represent someone who's taking a lot more than they're giving you back in that relationship. So you can say something like to this person, well, let's call this person Karen. Let's say, Karen, hey, Karen, I just want to let you know, I really want to be there for you. I know you're going through a hard time right now, but I just want to let you know I'm kind of going through some stuff myself that I'm dealing with. Just please give me some time and then we can connect next Saturday and talk about it. And I'd love to hear and help you as much as I can. You just bought yourself an entire week of being free from any kind of advice they want or whatever there is. You were polite, you acknowledged their feelings, and you set boundaries. That is going to be extremely critical in your self-care and self-preservation prioritization journey. Now, for the third thing in terms of self-care that you can apply right away is committing to yourself, okay? So committing to yourself is so huge, you guys, because you can do all these things, evaluate your relationships, you can set all the boundaries you want, you could keep on going your day with all these things that take up your energy, right? But then how are you filling your cup back up? How are you doing that? How are you putting more in here to fill your cup back up? Well, that's by you actually prioritizing yourself. And so that's what we're going to talk about a little bit right now. How do you commit to yourself? Okay. When you make time for yourself, and this is something I talk about ad nauseum in the group and everywhere. When you make time for yourself, you are creating positive reinforcement to that behavior. As someone who studied behavioral science, this is huge. Positive reinforcement is critical in order for you to develop a habit. So, committing to yourself is going to increase your self-worth. It's going to help you increase your self-love. It's going to tell yourself that you are a priority. Whereas these other things, which is basically dealing with people who are taking your energy, people who are that you have to set boundaries with that you don't have yet boundaries with, these are causing you exhaustion, loss of energy, reduced self-worth, stress, overwhelm. These are all the things that we address in somatic breathwork. Okay, you have to commit to yourself in order to be able to show yourself that you are priority. And when you do it every day, every single day, when you wake up and when you go to sleep, you are telling yourself, I am worthy. I deserve time. I love myself. You are indirectly feeding your subconscious mind, all these thoughts. You are repatterning your thoughts and you're filling your cup in the process. So, how do you commit to yourself? There are very simple strategies that you can do. So, here's 3 strategies. 1, create a morning routine. For me, my mornings are sacred, okay? They are absolutely sacred. Why? Because your morning sets the tone for the entire day. If you roll out of bed and you're just like, wah, and you open your computer and you start working or looking at your phone, you're telling yourself, I'm not worthy to take it easy with myself. I'm just right into like giving my energy kind of mode. That's what you're telling yourself. If you take an opposite approach and you spend the morning being gentle with yourself, maybe giving yourself a nice warm lemon water, doing some stretches, whatever it is that's just really meaningful, putting your makeup on. I've done like makeup videos because I love putting on makeup. Whatever it is, develop a nice morning routine. For me, it's meditation. I love meditation. It's just a beautiful day. Wake up with gratitude, maybe an affirmation. Oh, and have another like surprise for you guys. So morning routine is absolutely critical. Okay. Now, the second thing is developing an evening routine. If you look at health and disease, if you look at energy levels, if you look at people who can lose weight, even like anything that's health related entirely depends on your sleep patterns. You can trace every single disease back to sleep. It's not that sleep is like the root cause of these, but usually poor sleep is associated with so many stress, disease, just so many different illnesses that are out there that we struggle with in stress and overwhelm and when we're operating in fight or flight mode. So prioritizing your sleep and developing a night routine is absolutely critical in order to be able to get quality sleep and in order to be able to wake up restful and starting your day accurately. So in terms of self-worth and so on. So in your evening routine, turn off that phone at least 30 minutes before bed. Don't be looking at the screen right before bed because you know the blue light will be interrupting your sleep patterns. You know that already. I don't need to go into the science of that, okay? Put that phone away at least 30 minutes before bed. You don't want that blue light in your eyes interfering with your REM sleep. Now, number 2, practice something before you go to bed. Practice something like reading a book, writing in a journal. I write in my journal religiously every night before I go to sleep. Saying a prayer, saying grace, gratitude, just something that's a really positive note. Create your routine. Maybe you want to stretch before bed. Maybe you want to drink a tall glass of water or tea. I love my tea. Whatever it is for you, create that night routine and prioritize yourself so you can subconsciously tell yourself that you are worthy of that. Number three, part three is exercise. Exercise is absolutely critical for so many things. We don't need to dive into the benefits of all of that. I have many videos on that. But exercise is good for your heart and soul. I remember I went to a stress physiologist when I was dealing with TMJ. Do you know the remedy he prescribed me? He said, walk for 30 minutes a day outside in the sun. It's incredible. You don't have to go do a HIIT boot camp exercise. Like, just go move your body. This is your body that supports you every single day. You have to reinforce that this is something that you have a loving relationship with. And you do that by prioritizing it. So even if you're dedicating 20 minutes a day into that, that's fine. Whatever it is that you can do, it's about consistency. So prioritize your body every day in some way, whether it be yoga, whether it be doing a consistent stretch, doing some cardio, going for a walk outside. I mean, we all know that it's really good to go connect with the outside. I know it's cold right now, but if there's some sunshine and being out in the sun for a few minutes, the sun and the rain has been associated with a lot of health benefits. If you're not out there like sun tanning like the whole time, right? There are benefits to it, the vitamin D and the sunshine. So that really pretty much concludes the part about like self-care. If you do have any questions, I want to know, number one, what is your self-care routine that you do? Because I'm sure you already have something that you do or something that you've been aspiring to do. I want to hear about that. Please put that in the comments. Guys, this is a community. Let's all talk to each other and take advantage of this tight-knit community and motivate each other, because God knows we can all use more motivation. Now, I'm going to conclude with a welcome, Sarah, welcome, Mohed. We are kind of coming, we're talking about self-care today. I did a really fabulous exercise. Really hope you guys catch the replay to watch that, because there's some really important points to take away from there. Now, we are going to get on with the affirmation part. So after we're done here, I want you to go ahead and just write down one thing that you want to identify with. Maybe it's love, okay? Whatever it is for you, I want you to write that down, and then I want you to daily affirm, I am that thing. So if it's love, I am love. I affirm, I am love. I am love. I am love. I'm waking up. Maybe it's patience. You want to identify. You want to be a patient person. I need more of that. I am patient. I am patient. I am patient. Every day, affirm that. And when you feel like your patience is running out, affirm even more that you are patient, so that you can start to instill these. The words that we say are extremely powerful in the way that we think and the way that we carry ourselves in the world. And then just kind of go back and reevaluate your relationships, setting boundaries, and setting yourself as a priority by establishing those routines. And for the announcement, the last two events that I did were extremely successful and just so incredible. I've decided to go ahead and add a Zoom session for Valentine's Day. It's going to be everything self-love, you guys. Everything self-love. And we wanted to do it in a Zoom because I wanted to give it, I had so many people from like Canada and Australia and UK that were like, I want this. Can you please offer us this? You know, so until I start traveling a little bit more to put on these, we're going to do a Zoom. A Zoom is just as impactful. You can do it from the privacy of your home. We're going to be connected. It's going to be completely live. It's going to be everything self-care. So if you really want to work on self-love and self-worth this year, we're going to be creating space to be able to bring those thoughts and beliefs and new patterns in. And I have another video that talks more about somatic breath work. But essentially what we're doing is we're using the breath to clear out old thoughts, old patterns that we have that are holding us down, that are keeping our cup empty. in order to be able to create space for new thoughts and patterns to come in. So I hope to see you there. It's going to be on February 11th at 12 p.m. Pacific time, which should work for multiple time zones. So it's on Sunday. It's going to be on Sunday, February 11th. So I'll be putting all the registration info in the group. Please take a look and let me know if you have any questions. I can't wait to see you there, and I can't wait to see your transformation. It is just incredible. I hope you all have a beautiful day. Remember, I'm here every Monday at 9. Last 2 weeks, we had some events that interfered, but I'll be here most Mondays at 9, so please look out. See you. Peace. Have a beautiful day. Mwah.